Should drones have to be registered with the government due to their inability to be picked up on radar and the fact that they can get all up in the way of commercial aircraft and other sky machines? Lawmakers are considering tighter regulations. That includes having drone owners or droners register their tiny remote-controlled flying machines so that if anything goes wrong, if they crash into something, a person or an animal or another airplane, they will know who to hold responsible. With projected sales of about 700,000 drones this year, is that even feasible to register all of those guys? What do you think? Should drone owners be regulated in some way, shape, or form? Lewis, why don't you start us up?
I don't know if it has to be regulated by the government, but it does make sense that it can get, if people really start buying drones and they take off a lot, then we have to figure out some sort of way to sort of register them, maybe that's a better term. What that process will be, I don't know how, because I mean technically you could buy a drone and just, I guess the point is to buy a drone so that you don't just go fly it in next to an airport or something like that for security and safety reasons. But yeah, it's gonna be tricky. I don't know how exactly best to approach that.
Right, that's the thing, and this body that's looking into how they're going to register all these, I think has until like mid-November to come up with the rules and the how to do it, and I just don't know what they could possibly do unless they kind of contact the retailers and say like, well, when you sell one of these things, you have to collect this type of information, and you have to then give us the model number from the side of the device, and we have all that together. But then what happens if you buy a drone as a gift for someone? Are
Right.
you on the hook for that? Like I bought one for my buddy, and if he flies it into someone's window, then they're going to come looking for me? I don't know. Dan, what do you think about registering drones?
You know, I'm of the belief that when drones are outlawed, only outlaws will have drones.
Right.
No, but I think you guys kind of hit the nail on the head. The easiest way to do it would be it's kind of like when you buy a handgun in a sense. It's like you fill out some paperwork. I mean, I don't think there should be a 7-day waiting period for a drone, but
Drones don't drone people. Drones drone.
people drone people. But I think really it's just if they need to do it. I personally don't see a need for it unless unless you've got like one of those huge drones. Like I went on YouTube and saw somebody built like a full-size, almost full-size, like a jet drone. Like it was so huge, it was like a B-1 bomber,
Wow.
and like was flying it around. And I'm going, okay, something like that should probably be regulated.
That's probably not a drone anymore. That's like an ultralight aircraft.
Yeah, that's like you could fly your pet to Jamaica or something like that. But I mean, those little micro drones that are about this big, you don't need to register that. Right. That's a toy. I mean,
they're gonna have to put some size limit on that. Like the little helicopter that I bought my dad for Christmas that barely gets 10 feet off the ground.
Right.
I really hope I don't have to register that.
No.
The bigger question for me though is who's flying all these drones? Like, yeah, I know 700,000 of them are gonna be sold, but is anyone really using them more than that first day you get them? I mean, I just personally I don't really see the appeal. You fly it around and then and then it's like I'm not going to keep doing this for the rest of my life.
I read in California that the police tried to cite a guy who was working for a newspaper or a magazine. He was flying his drone that had a camera over like a crime scene and was taking pictures.
Right.
And so that would be the only. I mean, I don't know. It's such a weird
that's why
thing
you need to register that so that you know who that guy is. But how will you know who that guy is unless you catch the drone?
Right.
And if you're gonna catch the drone, well then just catch the drones and I don't know, destroy them or something instead. If they're flying where they shouldn't be, I'm talking about recreational use. But if you then do start, then I don't know. How do you figure it all out?
You start using a drone for recreational use, and pretty soon it's every day, and then you get hooked on it.
Your dad comes in. How'd you learn how to fly this thing?
I learned put little small licenses in the back of the drone.
Exactly.
License plate.
Right.
This drone belongs to Jeff Summergy. Please return. I gotcha. Well, that's our 2 cents on that. But in more important news, this will be Lewis's last show. he is off to bigger and better things. So as a send-off, I've put together this clip show of Lewis's best moments.
Wow.
Is what I would say if I did that. That takes a lot of time, and I just didn't have that kind of time. But just because I didn't doesn't mean I won't miss you any less, Lewis. I'm going to miss you. Dan, here's your opportunity to say some final words to Lewis.
Well, Lewis, of all the people that have been on this show, you've been the last one.
You've been the last one to leave it.
Yes.
Lewis, any last words or thoughts for us or our audience?
It's been great. It honestly has. Like, I've looked forward to the podcast for the past, what, 7 years, 8 years? Maybe 7
Long
years.
time.
And
Long
it's
time.
it's you know, I've had a bunch of fun with both of you guys, with like even, back in the day when we used to have Jim, when we had Chuck, when we had April, Contre, everyone. I mean, it's been awesome seeing it grow, seeing it develop, seeing the tweaks and everything. And I will miss it. I will miss it a lot. And I will miss you guys as well, of course.
We will miss you too, Lewis. I mean, honestly, the thing that has been nice about having someone like you on the show is you're like the voice of reason. Honestly, it's like you're that stabilizing force. I mean, I know it's a
the
stretch.
weight and burden of the truth and facts off of Dan and our
Yeah,
shoulders.
exactly. Like we
We
can
all
say whatever
balance
we
each other
want.
off very well. We balance each other off very
Yes,
well.
that's a great way to say we're crazy.
Well, thank you for being the best part of our show. Sorry, Dan. For all these years. Best luck with everything.
Yes,
Viewers,
you will be missed.
You will.
Thank you guys.
Viewers, if you want to send well wishes to Lewis, leave them in the comments below. And if you have something to say about drones, you can put that there too. For DealNews.com, along with Dan Ledbetter, and for the very last time, Luis Ramirez, I'm Jeff Summergy. Goodbye.